Today, we're diving into a story where a single tech decision had immediate, and I mean immediate, consequences on a real-world battlefield. We're talking about a digital off switch that had life-or-death implications.
So let's just kick things off with a question. Imagine you're on the front lines. What happens when the internet, your digital lifeline, for an entire modern army just vanishes?
Well, what happens is they're forced to fight a totally different kind of war. It's like being thrown back in time, technologically speaking. And, this isn't some hypothetical. This is exactly what just happened to Russian forces in Ukraine. So to really get how this all went down, we've got to first talk about the tech that made it all possible.
Okay, so at the very heart of this whole thing is this game-changing tech that basically beams internet down from space.
Of course, we're talking about Starlink. You've probably heard of it. It's basically a massive network of satellites orbiting the Earth run by Elon Musk's company, SpaceX. And its whole purpose? To give you high-speed internet literally anywhere, especially in places where normal internet infrastructure is gone or, well, just never existed in the first place. Now, for Ukraine, this tech has been, it's been an absolute lifeline. It's the digital backbone keeping their entire military connected. We're talking comms, reconnaissance drones, soldiers on the ground, everything. It's not an exaggeration to say it's been a total game changer for them.
But, and here's where the story gets really interesting. That same exact technology, the one that was so vital for Ukraine's defense, it turns out their enemy was using it too, but secretly.
So you've got this situation where Ukraine has official, above-board access to Starlink. But on the other side, Russian forces had been quietly smuggling these devices onto the battlefield. They basically took what was a defensive lifeline for one side and turned it into a secret offensive weapon for themselves. And what were they using it for? The exact same critical stuff. Controlling drones, coordinating troop movements, getting stable internet in places where it was impossible before. You can see how this was a massive hidden advantage for them.
But that secret advantage, it didn't last. In fact, it came to a screeching halt. And it all happened because of one decision made by one person thousands of miles away.
So what happened was, Ukraine went directly to SpaceX and asked for help. And just like that, SpaceX basically flipped a switch. They used something called geofencing. Think of it like drawing a virtual line on a map, and just disabled all the smuggled Starlink units inside Russian-held territory. Poof! Their connection was gone. And you can see the immediate impact right here. This quote from a Russian military blogger just says it all. You can almost feel the shock and the frustration. They're basically saying, we've just been knocked back to old-school tech in the middle of a war. It's a huge technological step backward, and it happened overnight. And this chart really spells it out, doesn't it? One minute, Russian forces have fast, mobile, and pretty secure internet. The next, they're stuck with slow, unreliable, and static comms. The kind of stuff that's way, way easier for an enemy to find and target. A massive downgrade. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. The really big deal here isn't just about one gadget or one battle. What this whole incident shows us is a fundamental shift in what modern war even is. Think about the takeaways. First, war today is just as digital as it is physical. Second, if you control the tech, you can control the battlefield. And third, and this is maybe the biggest one, private companies, tech companies, are now major, powerful players in global security. The line between Silicon Valley and the Pentagon is getting blurrier every day. So why does all this matter? Because it proves, without a doubt, how deeply technology now decides who wins and who loses. This isn't just some consumer gadget anymore. Starlink became a critical piece of military hardware, and having it or not having it directly affects who can coordinate, who can fight, and who survives. And that leaves us with one last, kind of chilling question to think about. If a single CEO can literally change the course of a battle with the click of a button, who are the real superpowers in the 21st century?